Hey guys, so I haven't posted a sugar video in a while and I found this in my archive, so I figured I'd just go ahead and upload it. And before I get started, I am not a professional and this was an impromptu gesture for a friend. Thank you and goodbye. The first step is going to be to cleanse the area that you're about to sugar. And also, if your hair is on the longer side, one pro tip, you are going to want to trim it. And then the second step is going to be to powder the skin. And I'm using cornstarch because it is the main ingredient in baby powder. And you'll notice that I used a lot of powder, but I really work it in and make sure that there isn't too much excess because that is actually going to inhibit the sugar from sticking. However, you still want to have enough on the surface of the skin to absorb sweat. So this was our first time. And if it's yours too, you're going to want to start small. So as you guys can see, I'm going for a less dense area so that I don't shock her, number one. And also I'm just picking up some stray hairs that are actually growing in a different direction to the majority of her hair. That don't hurt. One thing I've actually never addressed is that you do want your hair to be at least a quarter of an inch before you attempt to sugar it. However, if it's your first time, I recommend even longer, more like 3/8.
Oh, here we go. Oh, okay.
And also, I don't know if you guys can tell like I can, but do you see how the texture of my sugar has actually changed? At this point, it's less stretchy and thin because it's firming up as I'm actually using it. One reason for that is because the sugar ball is now full of hair, but the other reason is actually that this room is cold. So I filmed this during the winter, and the thing about sugar is that it is drastically affected by climate. So this is why I'm actually moving slower, because as you mold the sugar, you can feel the tension on your hair as it's being pulled in the opposite direction, because with sugar, you apply in the opposite direction and then you pull with the direction of growth. And this is for sugar specifically. So I'm not using the technique that you would use for wax because this is not wax. This is sugar paste. So if you've ever like gotten sugared for the first time before and this was the case for you, it definitely was for me. By that second appointment, it was completely fine and I didn't feel it. The only time I ever feel tugging is when my hair is just entirely too long. So too long would be like 1/2 inch. You really want to trim it back from there. And if you want more information, if this is the first sugaring video that you've ever seen of mine, I have an entire playlist and I will put it in the description box and also link it in the cards in the right-hand corner of the screen. As you can see, there are a few stray hairs, and that is completely normal because not every single hair is going to grow in the same direction. The majority is going to grow in one direction, but then there's going to be some stragglers. So now, as you can see, I repowdered the area and I'm now using a fresh ball of sugar. Therefore, now I can work at a normal speed, which is a little faster. And then to finish, if you have any residual stickiness, you can just use warm water to dissolve the sugar. And then I like to follow up with either witch hazel or aloe juice to calm the skin. And then I apply a little bit of powder because you don't want to reapply your deodorant for 24 hours. And again, don't forget to check out the sugar playlist because if you have a question, chances are I've probably already answered it. So you might be able to get an answer a lot sooner by checking them out. Bye.
I'm hot. I want to go home. It's not funny. You don't laugh. Don't laugh. You don't get to enjoy this. Don't you laugh at none of my damn jokes. It's not a game. I can't wait to block you. Nope.